Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm going to be talking about the new tasty reveals we got for Dengeki Bunko. Next, going to look at Spy Family, which released for Japanese Weiss Schwarz. And on the English side, that time I got Reincarnated Slime Volume 3 and a quick check-in on Revue Starlight. First is Japanese Weiss Schwarz Dengeki Bunko. I did a video about the preliminary info that we got so far. Showed a bunch of the reveals. If you've not seen that, check that video out. But for now, I'm going to be talking about the new reveals that we got. And right here, you can see this tasty pizza being eaten by Rio. This is from Ground Control to Psychoelectric Girl. I've not seen this manga or the anime. I watched half an episode right before I did this video. So I wanted to check out what the deal is with the art that's going on here. And I will tell you right away, there are a few panty shots as I pan through that video or the other couple of videos that I went through. And that explains the art the way it is, so take that for what you will. The word sample is on there. I think they had fun with that by putting it right there in the middle card, in the middle of the card. I also want to say that if you wanted to sell a bunch of pizza to people that like manga, anime, just waifu girls in general, all you got to do is slap her on a pizza box. I think you're going to do fairly well, is my guess. Next is Spice and Wolf. This is going to be one of those interesting ones because I know people are already dying to get this, calling for thousands of dollars on these cards. Hopefully these artworks met your expectations. I know people are still really excited to see that, so let me know what your thoughts on these cards. Now, Bunny Girl Senpai, we got the return of Mai Sakurajima. We got Nodoka there, people eyeing her up in the middle, and Shoko-san off to the left. Now, we have Strike the Blood. I saw people, there was some guy making fun of it. I know other people are really excited for it. I didn't watch this myself, but looking at the art itself, looks really nice. I think with all these cards, I'm gonna say that over and over and over again. It's gonna be really cool to see what the prices land at, because again, being a bunko set, having IPs that one person likes, other people don't like, but this one being very targeted on which IPs get the SPs, it'll be really cool to see how this all plays out. And lastly, Eromanga Sensei, if you have not gone on Facebook, there is someone expressing his love, willing, and desire to pick up these cards. So check that out. If you pull one of these cards, just know that you already have a buyer out there ready and willing to purchase these. Now, there are trial decks I mentioned in that other video. There's two of them to be exact, so be out on the lookout for those trial decks. The SPs were already revealed, so check out that video. Moving on, Spy Family came out on Friday. And the interesting part about Spy Family, right, there was a booster box, there's a trial deck, and the trial deck had no signatures inside of there. Keep in mind, I did not find out about the drop rate from it. I'm assuming that it kept the normal one, which is 2 SPs per trial deck case. And normally with that, there being 4, you're going to need on average 2 cases to get all of these. The more important part that I was watching out for was how the prices actually were going to happen on this, because my interest in these is people actually buying cases of it. This is going to be released on January 26th for the English side. Knowing that there's no signatures on there, I asked during a live if people would buy the same amount. Over 50% said they would not buy the same amount because of the lack of signatures. Now that we have no signatures and now that we have some prices, what actually did occur? So on the trial deck non-signature cards, what we had, this is your Anya. So think back to this, here's your Anya, here's your family. That's what they look like. So your Anya is sold out 152, the family 152. Your was the highest one at $230 and Lloyd at $76. I was taking a look at Nova TCG, Gurapan, and Yuyute as well. Roughly, they all go around the same price rate, but you can see the same sort of selling out actually did occur, which is really nice. But when you think about going back to what I said, are you willing to buy a case of this? If you were to pull the Lloyd, if you were to pull the Anya or the family one, not so great. The Yor was the better of the ones. And remember, keep in mind that these prices are sold out prices, which mean they're potentially higher than this price. are you still willing to buy a case of these, like investing wise, or just even not even just investing? Like, will you buy a case of these just to open and try to get yourself? I know some people are thinking, I'll just let someone else open it and get it. But if enough people go, it's not worth to buy a case, then how many of these will really exist? You're really, again, playing a game of chicken, as what's been happening with a few of these trial deck releases that we've seen is, are people willing to take the risk to buy this and hopefully pick it up on the secondary market? But if enough people say, no, screw it, I'm not going to do it, how is that going to work out? With your booster box, on the SECs, there were no signatures. You can see these signatures here are reminiscent of what you saw with the trial deck, except for they're rainbowy, and they actually have some sort of border going on there, which is really nice. I like that border. When you look through when you look through Spy Family, as I did in my reveal video, if you haven't seen that, check that one out. They really love putting borders on a lot of these cards. You'll see that throughout. It was like a theme that was happening here. Anyways, what we have with the SEC cards, your Anya 460 sold out on Nova TCG, 190 for your, and your Lloyd is still in stock at $113. So if you want that Lloyd, that guy is available. You can get him. You get him still. He's right there. With your SP cards, there was two big ones, right? It would be your Anya 230 and your 230, both sold out. The other ones on here, definitely not all that great. 50, 100, 50, 50. Not the greatest, but not everything could be awesome inside of the actual booster box. Your though, I know your like, we have spy rare cards. So the drop rate, oh, I didn't tell you about the drop rate yet. Of course, bad on me. But what we have inside of the booster box is, what I heard was 2 SPs and 6 spy rares. Remember, your spy rares are a mix of just, the normal actual characters and chibi versions on there. So if you were to be lucky enough to pull an SEC, what people have been saying is you still get 2 SPs, you get 5 spy rares instead of 6, and the SEC takes the slot of that 6 spy rarity, which is nice. I think that's way better, right? It's better than being like 1 SP, 1 SEC, and 6 spy rares. So nice that they did that. I could really appreciate them doing that. It's super nice. Spy Rare, though, the one you're going to be looking for is going to be this Yor. This card was freaking lovely. I think I used that in either the thumbnail or at the end of the Spy Family reveal video, because I actually like this one itself. This one did really well. As you can see, $53.99 sold out. This is your double rare, which is no surprise then on why this is so expensive. So right here, your double rare, $13.99 sold out. So that is your biggest double rare of the set. Your Anya, that was your SP, $10 in the double rare slot. So you can have nice explanations on why some of these are expensive as they are. And we have some of these SRs here. I was a little sad because when I was looking through the reveals, Bond was one of the ones I wanted to see. He didn't have any sort of signature going on there or like some foil stamp happening here. But he did get an SR. Let me just double check here. Oh no, he did. He did get a triple rare as well. So he got some nice cards, I guess. He got some triple rares. But no, I don't see, does he get one inside his spy rarity? I don't know, unless it's one of these blanked out ones. I'd have to go back to my video myself and check if he got any spy rares. But as you see here, the spy rarities, it's not for everybody. Some people like the full-blown characters, some people like the chibi, some people like both, but there's other people that have an extreme hatred toward the chibi ones that I've seen before. So not for everybody, because I think they say it reminds them of, what is it, Rebirth for You. Yes, with the chibi, and they didn't like that. But like, Rebirth for You is trying to get away from it. I don't want to say they're trying to get away from it. They seem like they're doing more normal-ish type cards versus full-blown chibi everything, right? With your booster box, it's going to be neat to see how this all plays out. Everything else just looked pretty normal to me with your triple rares, your SRs. Your big ones, again, was your SEC and those Anya and your SPs. But one thing I want to wait and see is how this is all going to play out in English. So English, as I mentioned on the video that I did for Spy Family, there is going to be early release. It's going to be happening at Anime Expo. Is that going to hurt sales a bit, or are people going to buy it? I don't really know. I don't like how it comes out early, so we'll see. The trial deck, are people not going to buy the cases of this because of what they're seeing value wise? I know it's not going to affect anybody that was going to buy, you know, 1, 2 trial decks, or people that were just going to buy 1 or 2 displays. You're just going to still do that more than likely. But the people that buy cases and store them, invest in them, try to open it for themselves, it more than likely is going to be less population. So we'll see how that plays out. The time I got reincarnated as Slime Volume 3, Slime always interested me. I said on a live before, as in, I know people like this IP, but when I think about Slime, there is no sort of excitement with it. And you can tell me I'm wrong on it, but I don't see that reflected in the YouTube videos. I didn't see anybody really talking about Slime before it actually came out, outside of people that wanted to play the set. When you think about people that want to collect some of the fancy cards, those people exist. But it's not like any of these other sets like Dengeki Bunko or Hololive or anything like that, right? It's just Slime is there. It came out. It exists, but the hype for it wasn't really there. It wasn't like other sets, big sets that have come out. So Slime is doing okay for what it is, right? $60 on the booster box. There have been a bunch of sales on it, as you can see here. I'm just going to highlight it since, let's see, the 18th. You got a page full of sales on TCG Player, which is a good sign. There are 18 listings on here, $60 as I said. SECs inside of the set. There are SPs as well, as it does make sense. But if you have not seen it, this SEC, if you have not seen the Japanese one when it came out, or if you haven't seen the English, go out there on Facebook, check it out. Really awesome looking SEC. One of those ones that have been selling around $400, as you can see on TCG Player, $400 and $450. So this is a pretty stable price. People really enjoy that card. I will say everything else, though, as expected, not really doing all that much at all. Anything. Look at this Benny Maru. I think this is the one that's coming out in that championship one, or something similar to it. I feel like it is. But with your triple rares, with your SRs, I will say, if you're wondering why I'm struggling with this reincarnated as a slime one, this is one of those ones where I pretty much forgot. With all the other things coming out, I just get a box show up at my door one day, and I'm like, oh, inside of it is Slime 3, and I'm like, okay, well that's cool. Oh yeah, it's coming out. So it's just I'm not feeling it. I love this anime. It was good. It was just one of those ones where, with everything going on, IPs happening everywhere, the many releases of Weiss Schwarz, it was just here it is, here it is. But other people I know are really getting excited to play with it. You can see here's your SR, here are your triple rares. It all looks normal to me, right? You're gonna have some triple rares, some SRs that are fairly expensive. You're gonna have some that are not as expensive. One of the things I want to point out is the past sets, especially Volume 1, right? We have Conqueror Flame Shizu, $30. People wanted that. Rimuru Tempest, $48. Keep in mind that was a trial deck card. And then also Anti-Magic Mat, $17.26, which is pretty amazing when you think about Anti-Magic Mat was in that time I got reincarnated as a slime Volume 2. They put it as a promo in the booster box. That way people could get more of them. Look at the pricing on this. Just amazing what happens when you come out with another set and decks that could actually use it. Right? So back as of April 4th, this is as far as it goes down on this price history anyway, it's $17. So you can see right here, let me hit 6 month, 1 month, right? It got all the way down to $5 and then it's up here at the $18.99 for a lightly played card. Yikes. Freaking yikes. Well, let me see. Let me see. I didn't have this up, but let me bring up the trial deck. The neat part about the trial deck, right? Rimuru Tempest was inside of here. The trial deck, $164.98. This is one of those moments where I'm like, can you imagine opening a trial deck of slime at $165 and almost coming close to breaking even on it? I wouldn't have imagined it, but it's actually true, right? Because you got Rimuru Tempest in there. We got Rimuru Tempest. We got the oh, I moved it. There we go. $48. Rimuru Tempest, $48. And that's not even a joke because someone actually bought it on July 23rd for $46 right there. Right, so you got two Rimuru Tempest, you got two anti-magic mass. I guess the whole nice part is if you can get some really nice like SP inside of there potentially. But in the end, if you wanted to actually open it, you have a chance of breaking even, which is really super amazing for something that costs $165. Right? How many old product can you buy and actually open and somewhat make your money back? It's absolutely insane when you think about it. Going back to Slime Volume 3, the interesting part with Slime Volume 3 is the amount of opening, right? For the lack of hype to it, I know people want to play with it. The lack of hype right here, what's the biggest one? Veldora, a sealed release Veldora, 27 listings showing on here for something that just actually came out, and for the amount of people like talking about it, amazing. Right? We compare that to Revue Starlight, something that wasn't as playable, has pretty cards, and fairly older. You have a, let's see, what's the biggest one at this point? 12, Greenhorn Captain Aruru. Is that how you say her name? I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but we have 12 listings on here and came out weeks ago. Right there. Here you go. Revue Starlight 12 versus Valdora 27 listings. It's a little sad when you think about it. Revue Starlight not doing all that well. You don't have a lot of SPs because a lot of people aren't opening. Again, reflected inside of the amount of double rares that actually exist by how many sellers there are. With these SPs, you don't see barely any of them at all. This reminds me of Bang Dream. This is reminiscent of that. Bang Dream, though, does have more realistic prices, as some of these SPs you'll notice out here on TCG Player showing about $500. So it kind of comes down to the point where people ask themselves, do I want this lovely card at $500 or do I want to buy something else with my $500? And I think ultimately that's what's going to happen. People are going to see these prices, be like, wow, this art looks good, but not for me. I'd rather just put $500 into Dengeki Bunko or Lorcana if you could afford a booster box of $500 with the rates these are going, it's increasing at anyways. So we'll see what happens with Revue Starlight. I think people need to be more realistic about the prices if they actually want to sell them anytime soon. Or you could hold on and wait for that fan to finally break and buy it at $4.99. We'll see which one happens first. I would be more on the side of them just moving on. That would be where I put my vote on, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that is everything. So as always, have fun, be happy. Don't spend anything outside of your budget. Have a good one.